My email ID tradingprofitably@gmail.com, YouTube channel Trading Profitably, and Twitter handle Sagar Nandi. I regularly share live market and stock analysis on these channels. These are open to the public and you are most welcome to make use of them. Disclaimer: I am not an investment advisor. This demonstration is for educational purposes only. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. These are the systems I use in my trading. I use Q Elite and Q Global Q Finder for technical analysis, Q Vital for fundamental analysis, Q Edge for sector industry rotation analysis, and Q Index for market level index analysis. Today I may use some of these tools, but the purpose of this session is not to explain use of any of these tools. Instead, this is to discuss how I plan and manage trades using Q Diary, how I use that instrument, that tool, to plan and record trades as well. That not only helps me plan ahead, but also it does help me to reflect upon my trades, looking back how I did I do as I wanted to do in terms of planning and execution. The Q Diary tool helps immensely in that. How can you get Q Diary? If you are using Q systems, you may go to the download page, and if you are using QH, Q Vital, Q Index, which requires Zenith access, then you will also be able to download Q Diary from this download personalized page. You may download the latest version that I am using today to demonstrate how I use the tool. This is Q Diary. It has two tabs. One is the home tab, that is the diary where trades are logged, and one is the plan tab. Plan is used to decide the sizing. Where is the entry price, where is the stop loss, where is the target, and based on that it calculates the trade size. Once we are happy with the reward risk ratio that is indicated by the plan, then we may take the trade on our brokerage platform, and then we may use action button to transfer the planned trade to the trade log, that is the home page. These are the two tabs. Q Diary calculates the risk per trade based on the entry level and stop loss level. Let's take an example. I shared an idea on a stock today. If somebody was going to buy a gold mining stock, then CDE seemed to be a fairly good choice. Why? Because it came to memory trendline support, bounced up from there with high bullish pressure and pressure U-turn, displayed a bull release signal and also a bullish headwind. It ended yesterday with a bullish shape candle. Candle color is neutral. The stock was moving inside a range formed by memory resistance at the top, memory support at the bottom. When a stock is moving inside a range, the optimal entry opportunities are at the edges, extremes of the range. And right now it seems to be at the lower extreme of the range. Let's try to log this potential trade into our diary. We'll plan it first. Let's say our entry will be if stock price goes above yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was 7.285. Let's say 7.3. So I'm going to go to diary. This button will take me to the home, to the plan tab from the home tab. So I'm going to plan the trade for CDE.N. I'm analyzing it as of 24th September's market close. That's how I log it. I don't put today's date because I am doing the analysis as of 24th September market close. Then I have certain fields where I want to mention about the situation, the scenario, the market, industry, fundamental, technical, etc., against which I am planning the trade. I'll come back to those fields. First, let me come to the entry price. Entry price we decided to be 7.3. So I am putting the entry price at 7.3. That is my planned entry price. Where will be my stop? Stop will be just below the memory support line. The exact location of the stop will be decided by Q protection signal. I'm using Q global running on Metastock. I have set up all the Q templates on the menu bar. I click the stop level menu bar here to open the Q protection signal, and it is telling my stop will be at this level, that is 6.37, not below that, and this is fairly close to yesterday's candle's low. So let's say our stop is at this level, which is 6.37. I'm going to go to the diary and I'm saying my stop is 6.37. Now I want to decide my target. One logical target is of course the upper end of the range, that is the memory resistance line. Let me take that as my initial profit target, that is at 6.35. 6.35. I entered these three numbers, my entry price, stop price and target price. Based on that, it is telling me that my entry quantity is 374 shares. My risk amount is $347. Reward risk ratio is 1. Sorry, I think I made some mistake. The target cannot be 6.35 if entry is 7.3. Let me check the target again. 8.35. 8.35. Now you see the entry price is planned to be 7.3. Stop using Q signal, protection signal, is 6.37. My target is the memory resistance line, 8.35. Now the Q diary is telling if that is the case, then I may buy 374 shares. That will be a risk of $347. My reward risk ratio is 1.13, and it is telling me that target at reward risk ratio 1 is 8.23. So though my planned target is 8.35, the moment price hits 8.23, I will cover my risk distance and I am allowed to sell at least partial position. So how the tool is working, it is asking me the entry price, stop price and target price, and then telling me all the other important parameters. What is the quantity, how many shares I may buy, what is my risk amount in dollar, reward risk ratio, and equally importantly at which price point I may start to book profit. That is where the reward risk ratio becomes 1, that is 8.23. Now before deciding to buy, we may log the background against which you are considering to take the trade, and those are logged under market, industry, fundamental, technical, and if any comment is there about our plan. When you start to fill this up, you will realize that is this what you really want to do? Do you really want to buy a stock under the current market situation? Let's look at the market first. For the sake of time, I will not look at all the market ETFs, or I will not look at Q, age, market breadth, etc. to decide what is the market stance right now. I'm just looking at S&P 500 ETF SPY using the Q Elite at a glance weekly daily template. As you can see, from the top, price has pulled back. We have 3 bearish backdrop color in the weekly chart. In the daily, price is in a downtrend. It has memory resistance and lower high, lower low. At the same time, price is oversold. So for short-term trading, we may objectively note that the market is bearish and oversold. That is what I am going to write in the diary under market analysis. Bearish and oversold. Now I want to look at the stock's fundamentals, industry, and technical. Let me fill up the technical part first. I already had the chart open. I have the daily entry chart. I am going to open the weekly daily at a glance template using Q Global. What is my technical analysis? What is the basis of me buying the stock? It has memory support in weekly, memory support in daily, bullish headwind in daily, bullish pressure, and bull release. Does it have any Q trade setup? It has one bounce long trade setup. If you look at the daily weekly together, it is meeting all the requirements of Q bounce long trade setup. Additionally, it has weekly memory support. It has bullish headwind as well and bull release. So we have met all the requirements of bounce setup, plus we have additional factors allowing us to take the long position in CDE. That is what I am going to log in diary. Bounce setup. Let me be explicit, say Q bounce setup plus bullish headwind, bull release, and weekly memory support. This is the reason technically I am thinking of buying the stock. What about fundamentals? That I can check from Q Vital, and as you know, probably the orange color icons are going to take me to outside the application. The current application is Q Diary. If I want to carry out a fundamental analysis of the stock, I may click the peer analysis button. I may put my cursor anywhere on the stock that I want to analyze and click on the peer analysis button. That's going to get the stock CDE, use it as root stock in Q Vital. It is retrieving all the peer stocks, further retrieving all the data about the 12 peer stocks, and it calculated the Q Vital scorecard. What can we see fundamentally? It is medium valuation and high growth in the last quarter, extremely high growth in the last year. It has revenue growth in the last year as well. Yesterday, the industry was very strong in itself. 83% of the 12 peer stocks in the gold mining industry went up yesterday. This stock itself went up by 5.7%. Next earnings is due on 2nd November, sufficient days away to take a short-term trade. It has a short squeeze potential. Therefore, fundamentally, we are allowed to buy it as a high growth stock. In Q technique, we look for either high growth or undervalued stock in terms of fundamentals. In this case, it is high growth and it has a short squeeze potential. That is what I'm going to log in my diary. For fundamentals, my reason for buying is high growth, short squeeze, medium valuation. That is my fundamental reason for buying the stock. Fundamentally, it allows me to buy. Next is to look at the industry. I may go back to Q Vital, click the gear icon to take me to Q Edge, which will show me the industry strength or weakness as the case may be. This is the gold mining industry. Yesterday it was one of the strongest. You may see that from the color there is a score, but usually I don't look at the score. Cyan color means strong, and if you look back, it was weaker earlier. The pace columns indicate acceleration or deceleration. Cyan color indicates acceleration. Therefore, from the industry level, my reason for buying the stock is that the industry is both strong and accelerating. That is what I am going to log in the diary. Strong, accelerating. What is the use of the plan field? There is one more field. Sometimes you may decide to buy it using a stock. Sometimes you may use a synthetic stock position. You may record it here. In this case, I am planning it for potential buying today, but sometimes you may plan ahead and buy after a few days, and also you may plan for multiple stocks in advance. That is why it is important to record what is your planned strategy. Is it using synthetic stock position, short the put, buy the call, or simply buy the stock or something else? Here I am simply planning to buy the stock, so I am going to leave the plan column blank. That is how I plan for a trade. Now, one question that may come to mind, that how is it calculating the number of shares that I am allowed to buy? That is coming from the home page. It is using the initial equity and the percentage of equity I am risking in each trade. These are input parameters. Here I am assuming the account has $33,000 initial balance. That was the initial equity in the account, and I am risking 1% of equity in each trade. Therefore, my risk at the initial equity level would have been $330, but I have already logged a number of trades for demonstration purpose, and considering the P&L of those trades, the current equity is 300. Current equity is 34,828. 1% of that becomes 348. That is what is used as my risk allowed in each trade. That is 1% of equity. Currently the equity is 34,828. Therefore, the risk allowed in my next trade is 348. This is one important thing. You can see as my equity grows, the risk allowed in the trade also grows. That means if you are consistently making profit in 60% of your trades, for example, then as time goes by, your equity will not grow only linearly, but it will slightly tilt up. The curve will slightly tilt up, not a lot probably, but it will slightly tilt up. accelerating your profit. That is because the risk is 1% of not only initial equity, but it is considering the current equity. If the equity grows, the risk amount grows. If you are making more profitable trades than losing trades, then the more risk you take, the more profit you gain. Current equity grows further, and your risk amount and therefore reward amount grows further. That is an important feature of using this tool. That is why instead of using 1% of initial equity as the risk in this trade, it is using 1% of current equity, which is $348. And if you go to the plan tab, it is also showing if I buy 374 shares, my risk is $347, which is exactly 1%, rounded number, 1% of the current equity. Now suppose the market has opened and suppose I placed a GTC order, buy stop order at $7.3, and it got filled at $7.3. Then from plan, I want to transfer this trade to the trading log, which is the home page. There are 3 trades already logged. Now I don't need to type the trade again in the trade log, that is home. What I may do, I can come to the plan tab, place my cursor anywhere on my plan trade. Once the trade is executed on my brokerage platform, I am going to transfer it to home page trade log by clicking this shopping cart button. Shopping cart. Remember the color coding. If you watch the tutorial on Q Edge Vital Index earlier, cyan buttons keep control within the current application. Orange action buttons take control outside the application. The shopping cart is cyan color, so it's going to keep control inside the application. It is going to remove the entry, the planned entry from plan tab and transfer it to the trade log. Let me do that. Now my trade CDE is logged into the home page. I got the fill, let's say not at 7.3 because it was a stop buy order. Let's say my brokerage got the fill at 7.32. That's what I want to update here. So plan was 7.3, that's what was transferred to my trade log, but actual fill was 7.32. So I typed that, and entry quantity suggested was 374. That is what was suggested in the plan. However, let's say I decided to place my order on the brokerage for a round number of shares, let's say 400 shares. So in brokerage, I got filled at 7.32 for 400 shares. Therefore, the plan is giving me a number of shares, but you can see the other demonstration trades also. I always round up or down the number of trades, number of shares. You may or may not do that, but it looks nice and I do that. Therefore, once I transfer the trade from plan to home by clicking the shopping cart button, and I should click that when after my brokerage order is filled, the trade is transferred to home tab trade log, and I update the actual entry price because my actual fill price may be slightly higher or lower, and I also update the actual entry quantity. In this case, as I showed, I rounded up to the nearest 100 shares. So now I got filled, and you can see now because it is using live streaming data, and you may switch off live streaming using the pause button, restart streaming by clicking the play button. Right now streaming is on. It is calculating the PNL in real time. That is mark to market loss and profit. Because I assumed I got filled higher than the current price, it is showing my current PNL is loss $48. That is minus 1.64% for this particular trade. What is my total risk? $380, and total reward is $412. Risk per share is $0.95. The difference between risk and total risk is that risk is per share, total risk is for the trade position, and my reward risk ratio is 1.08. The trade was filled on today's date. So whenever I click the shopping cart button, it takes that date, not the planned date, as my entry date. If I want to update it, maybe I forgot to update my trading diary, I am allowed to update it, but in this case I'm assuming I got filled today after market open, so I'm going to keep the date same. It also automatically retrieves the ticker symbol CDE, and let me scroll to the left. It also shows me the last closing price 7.2 and the ticker symbol. The ticker symbol is useful if you are using brokerage platforms like TradeStation. In that case, you may not use the Thomson Reuters symbol, which is CDE.N in this case. In that case, you would use CDE, the ticker symbol. And my current quantity in hand is $400 because that is what I traded and I didn't exit any trade. What did I cover so far? So far I covered how you plan the trade in the plan tab, and once you execute the trade, you got the fill, you transfer the trade to trade log homepage and you do the necessary adjustments to the actual entry price and actual entry quantity. What happened to the other planned fields, these fields, and why do I use it? When you use these fields, you start to think that, is this really what I want to do? If you took another stock, maybe the market is bearish, industry is weak, fundamentals are not good, only technical is good. Are you really willing to take such a trade? If so, that is fine, but logging your decision making process will help you later. How? When you go to the trade log, those planning criteria were also transferred. If I scroll to the right, this 360 degrees trade analysis that I carried out on 24th September, those are already logged here. After 3 months, 6 months time, you may come back to the diary and see which trades made you better profit. The ones where market, industry, fundamental, technical were aligned, or where you just traded based on technical, or maybe you ignored the industry strength weakness while taking the trade, you traded against the industry. Are those helping you or hurting you? And from my experience, I may add that you will find out when you are aligned to the market, industry, and fundamental and technical, those trades are the trades that are going to help you most. Those are going to give you the highest probability trades. The advantage of logging it in this way is over time you will be able to fine tune yourself. Nobody has to tell you. This diary will act as a mirror and show you what is going on. Did you take the trades with discipline? Did you plan it properly? Did you execute properly? That is why it is important to plan the trade with this 360 degrees analysis. It may be carried out using top down or bottom up approach or different approach. You may know we can do different approaches using Q systems 360 degrees. Whatever approach you follow, you may end up always with a trade where market, industry, fundamental, technical are aligned. That is the planning part, and we executed the trade. We transferred the planned trade to our trade log. Now there are certain other very important columns. The trade execution score. Planning is one thing, but we need to score ourselves. There is a saying, telling that if you can measure something, you can improve on that. And this is important for traders to score themselves. Nobody is scoring you, nobody is scoring me, we are scoring ourselves, that how did we do. Planning is one thing, what about our execution? In this case, I think in terms of planning we did well. Therefore, in terms of 360 degrees analysis, I am going to score myself perfect 1. In terms of reward risk ratio, yes, it was more than 1 when I saw on the plan. Therefore, I can say my execution again was perfect. What about sizing? Yes, again it was perfect because I followed the sizing suggested by the tool, meaning I adhere to the risk management principle that I set up for myself. What was the risk management? Take only 1% of equity as risk in each trade. So my sizing execution was also perfect. And entry, yes, that was also perfect. Why? Because I am assuming I put on a GTC buy order just above yesterday's high, and that got executed today. So I am going to score myself as 1. Later on, when I exit the trade, I may score myself against initial exit and then final exit. If I am exiting the trade before the stop is hit or before the target is hit, then I am not following my plan. In that case, I am going to come and score my initial exit as -1, and you may see it changes the color, negative color, to red. On the other hand, if I am exiting following my stop and following my target, either case it is okay. It may go up, hit my target, or it may come down, hit my stop. In both of those cases, if I am following my plan, I am going to score myself as 1. And if I exit partial position, then for the remaining position, again I have to score myself. How? If I am following trailing stop, I am going to leave trailing stop as the stock is going up. Is it hitting my trailing stop only, then I am exiting? If so, I am going to score my final exit also as 1. Or there may be other exit criteria for the final position, remaining position, that may be using the weekly resistance as well. In either case, I am going to score myself 1 if I am doing well as per my trading strategy, and -1 if I am not following my own trading strategy. I'm going to remove the exit scores now. Now over time, you will see at the top the percentages are being calculated. This is the execution score, percentage score of the different execution scores, and currently it is at 100. It is probably not always realistic to expect a 100% perfect score across many trades, say 100 trades. What I have seen, so long as you are able to keep the summary score that is shown at the top to at least 80%, then you are doing well. I tend to say that if your inputs are good, your output will be good. Or you may say if your inputs are consistent, output will be consistent. The input is decided by two things. One is the planning part, how you are analyzing the trade before taking, and then how you are executing them. Planning part we are recording, and the execution part we are scoring. So long as you are able to keep at least 80% at the summary level execution score across all categories, I see no way to lose money in the market. That is, of course, something you have to test yourself. Underlying principle is that you are using a robust system and robust technique to trade, not just looking at CNBC and saying that that is my trading strategy. Well, if you are using CNBC as your trading strategy, you may actually log that you ignored market, industry, fundamental, technical. In plan, you may just put CNBC trade, and over time, like a mirror, it will show you it is working or not for you. And again, that is going to help you find your own trading and your own trading result. That is how you may plan a trade, execute it on brokerage platform, transfer it to the trading diary, and keep track and score your trades. Over time, you will have multiple trades filled up. Now, when you are in a trade, for example, now I am in multiple trades. Few trades I logged earlier and one trade I logged just now. The quantity in hand column, if it is non-zero, then I have a trade in that stock. And if the quantity in hand is negative, then I have a short position. If it is positive, I have a long position. There are multiple columns in the trade log. You may see some of them are colored in different heading color, red color. Why? Because these are the columns that are going to alert us that something actionable is taking place for each trade. How? Let's take the trade CRDF. This is an oncology stock that I shared in my traders forum earlier. I think that would be around or on 17th September. I have logged the trade, and when the price at reward risk ratio 1, that column is changing color to green, it is telling me, alerting me that my RRR1 price has been hit. As I explained in the forum and previous YouTube live sessions, I have sold partial position, booked partial profit in the trade. And when did I do that? When the reward risk ratio was 1. How did I know that? I knew that because on this tool the color changed for that trade to green, telling me that I may take some action. Of course, if I put a GTC exit order at my RRR equal to 1 price, that would have executed automatically. If you didn't put a GTC order and you are tracking the stock, seeing if it is gapping up, gapping down, sharply moving up, if you do that, you are able to use the diary and the color alerts to know when you should start considering exiting at least partial position. The quantity in hand also changes color. When partial position is closed, you have booked partial profit, then you can see it changes color to blue. So these are the two stocks, FLGT and CRDF, where I have booked partial profit. FLGT is another trade that I shared in the forum. Both of them I have booked some profit. So this column also changes color when something actionable or something important is to be told. What about the symbol column? That changes color, telling if my stop is already moved above the entry price for long position or stop is moved below the entry price for short position. Meaning these two for me, FLGT and CRDF, are almost guaranteed risk-free trades. Why? Because my stop loss is now above entry price. Where did I log that? Remember, when I planned in the plan tab, I recorded my initial stop loss, entry price and target. What happened after that? It told me that RRR1 has been hit. Let's say for CRDF, I exited partial position. How did I do that? I came to these columns. I put the exit quantity at exit price, and as you can see in this log, I forgot to put the date. The entry was 17th. Let's say I remember the next day. I explained in the earlier YouTube live sessions also. So 18/9 was the initial exit. When I exited partial position, I logged that here. Exit quantity, exit price, exit date 1. Partial position is still left. Once I exit that, I am going to log it under exit quantity 2, price 2 and date 2. If I exit with more legs, I am allowed to able to expand the columns, and there are 3 more legs that I may use to exit, but usually for short-term trading these 2 legs are enough for exiting. I am entering using 1 leg, booking partial profit at RRR equal to 1, and then the remaining position I may exit at a different point using trailing stop probably. So when I exited my partial position, that is 333 shares for the stock CRTF, I also updated my revised stop. That is based on chart analysis, 9.7, right? Let's open the chart. I'm going to go to MetaStock, close CDE now, come back to diary. I am on the CRDF row. I may put my cursor anywhere on the row, and remember again the chart icon is going to open the chart in Q Global. So I'm going to click that. This is CRDF. My entry was on this day. Initial exit was on the very next day. Let's see where is the stop now using Q protection signal. Earlier it was at 9.2. You can see now I can move my stop up to this level indicated by Q protection signal. So why don't I do that? That is 10. So I'm going to go to my Q diary. What I'm doing, I'm using trailing stop to move my stop up if the stock is going up. So I have moved my stop up to $10. Now if it comes down, the stock comes down. Currently the stock price is as retrieved by Zenith real time 10.71, and I have told my revised stop is 10. So if the stock comes down today and hits my revised stop, then what is going to do? It's going to color this sale also in a different color. If it is hitting stop, it will show in red color. If it was hitting my profit target, then it is going to change in green color. So the last closing price also updates based on whether stop or target is hit. For this demonstration, let me show that currently the closing price is 10.71. For the sake of demonstration, let me update my revised stop loss to, let's say, 10.8, which is not true, but just for demonstration, current stop is 10. But see, if I put my stop 10.8, current price is below that, so it's updating my last closing price sale color, alerting me that something actionable is there. What is there? That closing price has hit my stop, in this case revised stop loss. That is how you may gather several important signals from Q tool. One is from last closing price, whether it is hitting your target or stop. From price at RRR equal to 1, it shows whether price has hit the level where your risk ratio equal to 1. Quantity in hand shows which ones are partially closed. Those are in cyan color. The ones that are fully open are in black color. And the symbol column itself will show whether the trade is entirely risk-free once you are able to lift stop above entry price. Let me change my stop back for CRDF to the actual number 10. So far, what did we do? We planned a trade. On the plan tab, we carried out the complete 360 degrees analysis, entered our planned entry stop target, that calculated the number of shares allowed, risk, dollar value, reward risk ratio, and target at RRR. We executed the trade on brokerage platform, transferred the trade to trade log. How did we do that? We click the shopping cart button to transfer the trade. Then we updated the actual fill price and actual quantity if we rounded up or down from the suggested quantity. We also scored ourselves on trade execution by scrolling to the right. Whether we did well or not, aim is to plan it well and then execute well, keeping the summary score at least 80% for all the categories. While we are in a trade, the different columns, especially the ones that are having red color in the header, they are going to change color and alert us. What they are going to alert us? Last closing price is going to tell us whether stop or target is hit. Price at RRR1 is going to tell when a reward is same as risk. Quantity in hand is showing whether I have some trades where partial profit is booked, and the symbol itself is showing whether I have totally risk-free trade now. That is when stop is beyond the entry price. Now, when we are watching our trades, we may do several things. For example, I may want to know what are my bullish holdings. Then I may click the bull icon. It is telling me I have FLGT, CRDF and CDE, these three as my bullish trades. If I click the bear icon, it's going to tell me that I have only one bearish trade, that is in a stock called SAIL. If I want all my trades in the bag, the all open trades, I'm going to click this bag icon. These are the stocks I have in my holding, and that is going to show all my open trades, bearish or bullish. The bearish one is in negative quantity. If I want to see the stocks where I have booked partial profit, I have eaten part of the pie, so to say, you may click this icon. So if I click that, it's going to only show FLGT and CRDF where I have booked partial profit. And if I want to see all my trades, not only open trades, partially open trades, but all trades, the trades that I have fully closed also, I may click this button. It's going to show me all trades. In this case, for the demonstration, I have no fully closed trade. So it's showing the same as the open trades. Let's now look at the summary statistics that are shown. I already showed that after the initial equity is entered, as the trades make profit and loss, the current equity shows the equity that you have at present. The risk per trade is the risk that is allowed to take in each trade based on current equity and the percentage of amount risk in each trade. What are the other statistics? Here we are seeing how many total trades are there, how many are in profit, how many are in loss, and over how many days we have taken those trades. Showing we have 4 trades in the log now, 3 in profit, 1 in loss, and these 4 trades are taken in 9 days. What is my percentage profitable? 75%. Remember, in Q technique we are targeting at least 60% success rate, and here currently we are seeing that we are doing okay on that front. We have 75%, that is far above the required 60% success rate. How many trades I have fully open? 2. Partially closed? 2. Totally closed? None. How many number of bullish trades? 3. How many bearish trades? 1. What is my current total PNL? $1780. What is my mark to market PNL? That is also $1780. I'll come back to the reason why we have two fields here. My net PNL percentage is 5.39%. That is 1780 as a percentage of initial equity. So I am currently having 5.39% profit over 9 days from 4 trades with 75% success rate. Now let me explain why we have two fields, total PNL and also mark to market loss profit. What I showed you so far is useful for trades that you have planned ahead in the plan tab and executed it in the brokerage platform. Sometimes you may take day trades, and for day trades you may or may not want to log all the detail because you probably are not going to look at everything, market, sector, industry, fundamental, technical, for deciding day trades, for example in the futures or market ETFs. So let's say I am taking a day trade. Let's say I took one yesterday, which I did actually in IWM. I took the day trade yesterday, that was 24th September, and I don't want to log all the detail. I just want to enter how much profit or loss did I make. Let's say I made $375. That is the use of the P&L manual field, that if you are taking a day trade and you may not be willing to go through all the planning process for day trade, then you may simply enter the symbol, the date of your day trade and the P&L in the manual field. And now you can see total P&L is 2155 and mark to market P&L from the trades that were planned ahead, that is 1780, and 375 is from day trade. So this 375 and 1780 together is your total P&L 2155. Now you have 6.5% profit in 9 trading days. What else do I do with the trading diary? Let me show that. When I have the positions open, I like to see how are their charts, and I like to see them in two different groups, bullish versus bearish. So I have all these trades currently. IWM is already closed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the bag icon. What I have in hand, you see IWM is not included anymore. I have 4 stocks, but I want to open only the bullish trades first or bearish trades first, so that I can look at the charts with clarity in my mind. So I'm going to look at the bullish stocks first. 3, these are the 3 bullish positions I have. I may highlight them in any column and click the chart icon. Click the chart icon if I am going to open it using Q Global on MetaStock. If I want to open it in Q Elite Trade Station, then I may click the grid icon. So in this case, I click the grid icon. That is for transferring the ticker symbols, not the Reuters symbols, but the ticker symbols to TradeStation. But the good thing is that I didn't have to highlight the ticker symbols. I could highlight anywhere, click the grid icon, that will copy the tickers into clipboard, and now I may go to TradeStation Q Elite and Control V, I use that hotkey, or you may right click and paste, which shows the hotkey Control V. That brings the 3 ticker symbols in TradeStation, and now I may look at the stocks. FLGT, I have a bullish position and it seems it is still going up. Traffic light color is still red. Sorry, not red. Traffic light color is still green, and my stop is already above entry price that I have logged, so it's okay. The stock is doing good. CRDF, I already saw that the stock is doing good. I have already booked profit. And CDE, I assume that just today I got filled at above the higher price, so it's looking good so far. So that's how I am going to look at my existing positions every day. If I go back to Q Diary, I looked at the bullish stocks. Let me now click the bear icon. I have one bearish position, at least for the purpose of this demonstration. For CDE, I am going to open it using Q Global. So I'm going to click the chart icon. Sorry, not CDE, for sale. For sale, I click the chart icon. It opened it using Q Global, and I can see that maybe I have entered it little bit in anticipation. It broke one memory resistance yesterday, in anticipation that it will not resistance support, it broke one resistance. So what am I saying? It broke one memory support yesterday. In anticipation that it is going to break another memory support, I might have taken a short position yesterday. Might have taken. How was the weekly yesterday? Let's look at that. The weekly is also looking bearish for 3 successive weeks. Backdrop color is bearish, shapes are also bearish. Daily is looking like it's ready to topple over. Only thing is I might have entered it in anticipation. That's not a perfect Q trade setup. So I looked at the stock. If it is hitting above the range that will be hitting my stop price, then I may exit the trade. Now remember, if I had taken the trade earlier, I didn't follow my own entry strategy perfectly, at least in terms of technicals. Let's look at the diary, go to the planning and execution. Here in this case, I should mark my entry execution score as -1 because that is not what was my strategy. My strategy was not to anticipate trades. So if I do, that is fine, but I should log it as not perfect entry planning. And if you look at all the trades, let me go back to the right hand side. Let me click this all trades button. Let me go back to the right hand side and see, when I am not executing properly, my score, summary score, is going to change, and I don't want it to go below 80%. Of course, now there are only 4 trades. This statistics is not significant. Once you have 30-40 trades, you should be able to achieve at least 80% in the summary score. That is how I track the trades that are open using the Q Elite grid or Q Global chart option. The other thing I may do is I may carry out a fundamental analysis of the open trades. So let me click the bag icon again. I have all these trades open. I may highlight them and I am going to click the PR analysis or fundamental analysis button. That will take all the stocks to Q Vital. Those 4 open trades that I have, it's retrieving the data, calculating the score. That is done, and now I may look at the score. Again, I may do it separately for the bullish ones and separately for the bearish one. SAIL, I have a bearish position, so I may look at it differently. If I look at the first 3 stocks, let me remove sell for now. If I look at the first 3 stocks, I can see that my reason for buying the stocks are still valid. They are still high growth. So my conditions have not changed. Sometimes you may buy a stock based on undervaluation, and then if it changes to overvaluation, then you may start to consider booking profit. In this case, I entered these trades based on growth, so that's fine. I have to wait for the next earnings result to come out to see if the earnings growth is changing. If you entered based on undervaluation, then you may keep an eye on the stocks to see if they are becoming medium valuation or even overvalued. Then you may consider to exit the trades. That is what I do for my long trades and short trades separately. If I carry out the PR analysis for short trade, sell, because it's only one stock, if I click the PR analysis icon, it's going to not put it in the custom list because only one stock. It's going to carry out a PR analysis based on sale. So if you want to do a complete PR analysis of a stock that you are holding, you may just click on one stock, the stock that is one you want to investigate. If you just want to look at their fundamental scorecard, you may highlight multiple and then click the PR analysis. Both are possible. For short position, I have only one in this log, sale. So I carried out a peer analysis and it's still retrieving the data. When it is retrieving the data, I may also check out its industry. That is also something that I do for my open positions to keep an eye. And I have a bearish position and the industry seems weak. So if it starts to become strong, then again I may manage the trade accordingly. On the other hand, if I go back to my diary, okay, before going back to diary, let me wait for the vital score. It is still calculating the vital score. No problem. It's not a session on Q vital. So let me not wait for that. I wanted to show one more thing, that for the bullish trades, 3 stocks I have, I highlighted all of them, went to Q vital to calculate their score. It has updated the score. I go to my scorecard and now for each stock I may click the cog icon to see how is the industry doing. So for CDE, that is a gold stock, industry is doing great, so I'm happy with that. I go back to Q vital. Let's check for CRDF, the oncology stock. It was bought as a low price biotech. I have already booked profit. Stop is above entry price, so I am not concerned about whether the industry is changing or not. I'll just let it play out, but I keep an eye on the industry in any case. So biotech weakened little bit yesterday, and then I will do the same thing for the last bullish stock I have. Go to Q vital, FLGT. I will check out its industry by clicking the cog icon. And healthcare services is also in the middle in terms of industry score, neither strengthening nor weakening relative to others. In any case, I have already booked partial profit. My stop is above entry price. So I keep an eye on industry, keep an eye on the stock's fundamentals, keep an eye on the stock's charts, but doesn't mean I'm every day changing my trading plan. My trading plan is already there. What is my entry price, initial stop, initial target? Once I have exited partial position, I have set my revised target, revised stop, so I let it play out unless something major happens. Unless some very big thing happens in the market that my overall market view has changed totally, I want to let it play out. And if I am anxious, I am not able to let it play out, I exit the position before stop or target is hit. I need to come to the score card, and for the trade I am exiting without my plan, not using my plan, I should score myself -1. That is how I can use this tool to see whether I am planning well and also whether I am executing well. If you are doing these two things properly, that Q diary helps you log, visualize, then I think there is no reason not to make some profit from the market. There are two more buttons. They are not that important. One is on the home tab to erase a tab. This you may not use because we don't want to delete anything in the log. I have put it in the home page only for testing. When I'm developing the tool, if I want to remove some row, I use it for testing. However, the same button is there in the plan tab. Suppose you planned a trade on unit, a stock that I discussed in the last market roundup. That was the weekend. Weekend was when? That was, say, let's say based on 18th, or I don't remember, was it? Okay, why don't we look at the chart? Unit corp, unit.o. Remember, I analyzed the stock when price was here and said that if it could break above the memory resistance, it could be a buying opportunity. Remembering there was another memory resistance. So my plan date was 22nd 9. 22nd 9. So I would have planned and analyzed it on 22nd 9, and I might have filled up the market, industry, fundamental, technical. However, it didn't go up as I expected. So I didn't take the trade. I may scratch the trade, and that is when this erase button is helpful. If I want to scratch the trade from my plan, I may click the erase button. That is going to remove the trade from my plan. Of course, the heart button is to highlight a trade. It is there on both the tabs. This is to be able to read the entire row easily. For CRDF, if I want to read the entire row easily, I may highlight it using the heart icon. That is a tutorial on Q Diary. It is an excellent tool, and I think it is an essential tool for making consistent profit from short-term trading. It has everything that is required. It calculates PNL in real time and alerts you when something is happening, some action is due. It also helps you track the stocks that you are holding. You can look at them using charts, look at their fundamentals, look at their industries. We are at the 1 hour point, and I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover on Q Diary. Let me end today's tutorial here. Thanks a lot for attending. I look forward to seeing you in my next session, which will be the weekly market roundup sometime during the weekend. You have a great day, have a great weekend, and trade profitably. Thank you.